Welcome back. I know it's been a while since we've done any covered any math materials, so we're going to start today by doing a little bit of a review. We're going to talk about solving linear equations. Today we're going to look at solving one-step linear equations, and that's what our goal is today. We're going to solve linear equations using one step. Well, to do that, we're going to talk about inverse operations again. And inverse operations are just two operations that undo each other. So the first one we're going to talk about is addition. And what is the inverse operation of addition? Well, that's subtraction. And if we talk about addition and subtraction, they're inverse operations of each other. So if I have something I'm adding to one side, then I subtract it to get rid of it. If I have a subtraction, then I add it to get rid of it. The same thing is true when we talk about the multiplication and division. Multiplication and division are also inverse operations. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to start with the addition and subtraction part of it. So example 1 tells us we're going to add to each side of an equation. So I have solved this equation for x. Our goal is always to get the x by itself. So in this one, we're going to add 9 to both sides. By adding 9, we are solving the equation. We use the inverse operations to get the x by itself. And so in this case, we have x equals negative 8. The same thing is true in example 2. We are going to, once again, solve for the x. So we have to move the 12. So it's a plus 12. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. And so now we subtract 12 from both sides. So we're going to have x equals 8 plus negative 12 is negative 4. So our solution in this problem is x equals negative 4. So that is using the inverse operation of addition and subtraction. We have two guided practice questions here that I would like you to try on your own. So go ahead and use the inverse operations in examples 1 and 2 and try these two. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you're ready, hit play. And there are the solutions to the guided practice questions. Notice in both of these, our x value ended up on the right side. So we have 2 equals x, which is the same as x equals 2. It doesn't matter which side that the variable is or the number is. And then the second one, x equals negative 22 is your answer. We use our inverse operations of addition and subtraction there. In example 3, now we're going to jump over to the multiplication and division. Those two are inverse operations. And here we have a negative 3 times x. So to get rid of a multiplication, we're going to divide. Those are going to cancel out. And we have 12 divided by negative 3, which is negative 4. Jumping down to example 4, now we have a division problem. X divided by 9 equals negative 5. To get rid of the division, we're going to multiply both sides by 9. And once again, those 9s will cancel out on the left side, and we'll have x equals negative 45. So our solution in this case is x equals negative 45. So once again, examples 3 and 4 were an example of using the inverse operations of multiplication and division. So I'd like you to try examples 3 and 4 in the guided practice and see if you can get those answers. So go ahead and again pause the video and hit play when you're ready to move on. As you can see in example 3, we use the inverse operations of multiplication and division again. We divided both sides by 5 to get x equals 12. And in number 4, we multiplied both sides by 4 to get n equals negative 8. Once again, today we are just talking about solving linear equations in one variable. So we used our inverse operations. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. The inverse operation of subtraction, therefore, is addition. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. And the inverse operation of division is multiplication.